Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm gonna be giving you What if Naruto was an alien hybrid? Part 2. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What if Naruto was the king of necromancers over an Anime King. And enjoy that guys. And also, I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto was a perfect experiment over an Anime King 3. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, as Naruto was running for his life, the villagers were drunk and they were chasing after him. He ran and ran and ran as he ran through a fence. Unknown to him, it was the forest of death, as the Jonin that was with the group told him that he didn't have to chase after him anymore, as he was as good as dead. As Naruto went into the belly of the beast, where he was attacked by a rather large bear. Luckily for him, he was able to back away, and he fell right into a pit, where the bear could not tear him to pieces. But that pit was not an ordinary pit, as he fell into a strange black goo that covered him from head to toe. As he wiped himself off and got back to his feet, when he did, he realized he was in some strange lab. Unknown to him, this was one of the leftover labs of Orochimaru. As he looked around confused, he didn't know where he was as he searched. That was when he came upon a rather large tube. A tube that had two people inside. Two females, both of them were twins. As Naruto pressed the red button and freed them, he saw their name on a file. Sil and Eve. As the both of them seemed out of it at first, but he was able to speak to them and convince them to come with him. He ended up bringing them back to his apartment, as Naruto always wanted family, and having someone at his house instead of the darkness and silent night was better, as he brought them back. As Naruto let them sleep after giving them something to eat. That night though, he had a terrible dream. He didn't know what exactly it was, but he saw two strange creatures. The next morning he informed the Hokage about what happened. After begging the Hokage, Hiruzen allowed Naruto to, watch over the two girls for now, as the boy always wanted some family, as Hiruzen couldn't always be there. And not to mention the two girls seemed to not want to go with anyone else, as he had Anko help them get some clothing. Anko was a badass. She walked around. She didn't care what the people had to say, even though they called her a snake whore, but she did not care one bit. As they got the girls some new clothes, as Naruto brought them to the academy. When they got there, everyone was surprised, and the boys, all of them were looking at Eve and Sil. As the girls were confused, such as Ino, why did they want to stay with Naruto? Like they were with him, it was strange. As things went on like that, for some time, as Anko decided to help them in their training. The two girls adopted rather fast, as they learned everything quickly. Immensely so, it was like their brain was a machine. And Naruto also adapted to Anko's training. With the help of shadow clones, he was able to enhance himself further than before. As he was able to defeat Sasuke, everyone was shocked when they saw that. Sasuke was the number one in the class, so that was really a shock. Sil and Eve also beat the crap out of Ino and Sakura, as they didn't stand a chance. They became friends with Hinata because she was the only nice person. The rest of the girls were nothing but bitches. When Naruto graduated along with the two girls, as they were making their way, Naruto saw himself running. It was Mizuki who transformed into him and steal a scroll. Arriving to the forest, Mizuki told him that he possessed a demon inside of him, the Kyuubi. As Mizuki took his shuriken off his back and threw it to aim Naruto and two girls, but Naruto's eyes snapped. Something happened to his body at that moment. Next thing he knew, he held Mizuki's heart in his arm. As Mizuki dropped dead, as Naruto was confused, he just ripped the man's heart out and he felt no remorse. At the same time, he had the strength to push his hand through a man's back. Completely. From through the front. Something was wrong with him. He had never told the old man about his dreams. They got something good out of it though, 2 contract scrolls from the summoning scroll. As they brought it back, Hiruzen awarded them with the 2 summonings, scheming that they defeated one of the traitors of Leaf and brought back a very valuable scroll. He told them to go ahead and get some rest. He will talk about it tomorrow. It was a team selection after that though, as Hiruzen made the Jonins think about who they want on their team and give them a proper reason. Uncle wanted Naruto and the 2 girls, but Kakashi wanted Naruto and his team as Uncle was fighting him about that. As the 2 of them dived into an argument, as Uncle told him that he just wanted the original team to have the back. As she was talking about his original team, that pissed Kakashi off. So yeah guys, so basically as left off, you guys can switch across the place for yourself, so this will begin this new episode. That is enough from the both of you. I've heard your suggestions and your arguments, but there are other things I have to take into account before I make my decision, said Hiruzen. You're all dismissed. I will inform you of my decisions Friday morning before informing Aruka. The Jonins nodded as they all left, as Turtle leaned back in his chair, as he didn't know what to do. As both Kakashi and Uncle had suggested teams, and the members on the team that they each wanted, and it was Naruto. And the both of them had sound arguments, but he as a Hokage had to decide which one was the better. Uncle's team would make for a deadly strike team. Quick, fast, and gaining information. But Kakashi raised a good point. With Naruto chakra, he can become a ninjutsu powerhouse. As Kakashi was right, with his team right training and position, they can become like the Sanins. But Uncle was right, Naruto would have to start from scratch, weighing him down in the long run. As Sarutobi thought about his options here. And if he was honest, he wasn't that eager to re-meet the Sanins. Orochimaru had become a monster and a traitor, pushing and breaking the boundaries to become a monster for his search for immortality. Tsunade Senju had become a wandering drunk, gambling, running away from her pain and problem in her past. Jiraiya was the only one that was still an active shinobi of Konoha. As Sarutobi chuckled at the irony, in the past they called him a dead last. Tsunade was a heir of her clan, and Orochimaru was a prodigy, and yet, look who still was with the village. Look who still had loyalty. He didn't want to re-meet that choice. As the way things was playing out right now, he didn't want a repeat of the past. As he looked over his choices. Time skip, Friday, at the academy. Aruka entered the class, as Mizuki was not with him. Aruka-sensei, where's Mizuki-sensei? Asked Ino. Unfortunately, Mizuki was recently discovered to be a traitor. He was feeding information to an enemy of Konoha and planning to steal an important artifact to feed to those enemies. As the entire class gasped at that. What happened? He was captured and executed. As he raised a hand, I know that this is big news, he said, stopping the class from erupting into gossip. But we need to move on to more pressing matters. Today will be your team assignment day. Your names will be called out along with your Jonin senseis. As Naruto wondered who will be sensei, as he looked over at Cell and Eve, as he wondered if they will join him. As Aruka went from Team 1 to 7, when he arrived at Team 7 he called her name, Sasuke Uchiha. As many girls in the class wanted to know if they will be on team with Sasuke. Sakura Haruno and Sai Yamado. You will be under the command of Kakashi Hatake. As Sakura cheered at that, as many other girls sighed in disappointment. Team 8 will consist of Kiba Inuzaka, Hinata Hyuga and Shino Aburame, and under Kurna Ui. As Kiba didn't look too happy that Cell was not on his team, but at least he had Hinata. As Team 9 was still in circulation, Team 10 was the Inashikocho team, and their commander would be Asuma, as Ino banged her head on the decks. Team 11 would be Naruto Uzumaki, Cell, and Eve, under the command of Uncle Midarashi. As Kiba glared at Naruto, he was always with them. Now, He was gonna get peered with Sil. Kiba clenched his fist at that. Before I dismiss you all for lunch, I would like to say a few words first. As Aruka gave the class one of his inspiring speeches. After he was finished, Ino spoke up. "We couldn't have done it without you, Sensei," she said. As they all started to clap the man. It made him feel proud as a teacher. Alright, settle down now," he said. "Your sensei will arrive here soon, so sit back and relax and get to know your teammates until they arrive. Good luck," he said. And with that he left the room. "Can you believe it?" said Naruto as he looked towards the two girls, who were on the same team, and with a sensei that we know. Both twins were pleased with it as they smiled. A smoke bomb went off in the front of the class, catching everyone's attention as it swallowed entire room at the front. As someone burst out of the smoke, there was a banner behind the person that read, "The sexy, dangerous Uncle Midarashi has arrived. Alright, brats. I'm Uncle Midarashi, Sensei of Team 11. Where's my adorable little Jennings?" As the three of blondes held up their hands. "Alright," Uncle said with a smile. "Come with me. It's time for all of us to get to know each other. Follow me." As with that she took them all away. As Kiba was scowling. He had really wanted Sil on his team. Time skip. When they finally got to the training ground, Uncle stood in front of them. "I'll start, so follow my lead. I'm Uncle Midarashi, Jonin of Konoha. I like Dango. And my friends, Kurnai, Yujeu, and Hana. My dislikes are jerks who judge and persecute people for no reason, as well as my treacherous former sensei. My hobbies include studying poison and interrogating enemies," she said, as her smile was dangerous. "Anyways, my goal is to train you three to be Kakashi Shinobis here in this village. Now, how about you go first, twin number 1, as she pointed at Cell. I am Cell. My likes, Naruto, and my twin sister, Eve. Eating ramen, sweets, and fighting. My dislikes are those who pose a threat to me, my sister, or Naruto. My dream is to have a big family with Naruto and my sister," she said. As Naruto was blushing at that. "Ah, now I see why they're so close to the boy," thought Uncle, as she turned towards Eve. "My name is Eve. My likes are the same thing as my sister. My dislikes are the same. And my dream are the same." Ain't he lucky? Most guys will kill for this, Uncle thought to herself. "Your turn," she said. "I am Naruto Uzumaki. My likes are ramen, pulling pranks, and my friends. Well, my precious people. Sil, Eve, Hinata, Toki, Ayam, even you, Uncle Sensei. I really hate Kiba and Sasuke. My goal is to become Hokage and for my family," he said. He didn't know what made him say the last part. His goals was always to become Hokage, but being with the two girls, it made him feel different. After all, the thought of losing them, it terrified him. He wanted to have a family with them. "Well then, tomorrow you will come here and do your test to become official Genins." As the three of them nodded, later on, with Naruto, him and the girls had ate some ramen. As they came home, the girls were watching TV, as they were getting ready for bed. An hour later, once they were done, as once again they were sleeping, as Naruto was having the same dream. As he twisted in his sleep, so did Sil and Eve, as they even sweat. As Naruto was seeing himself as a creature once again, with these two humanoid female creatures, they were mating, unknown to him, as two children were spawned. As he saw strange hair that shaped like a pineapple, purple eyes, Naruto snapped out of his dream, as he heard the alarm. It was time to go meet up with Uncle Sensei. Meanwhile with Uncle, as she was just getting ready to leave out, the moment she opened the door though, she saw someone she didn't want to see. "Hatake, what do you want?" she said. He was leaning against the railing of the walkway, as he read his book as he did so. "I need to talk to you," he said, glancing up. As he closed his book, Uncle closed her door. "Another time, unlike you, I intend to be on time for the meeting with my team." Kakashi stepped between her and the stairs. "We need to talk now," he said. "I need you to convince Hokage to trade Sai for Naruto. You know that he is better for my team. Get your mask out of your ass already, Kakashi. Are you saying that you know better than Hokage?" As she crossed her arms in annoyance, Hokage-sama listened to her arguments. He studied their files, and he made his choices. "End of discussion," she said. "Uncle, you need to see reasons," said Kakashi. "Naruto is an important asset to the village. He needs to be trained by an experienced shinobi who can rein him in and brings out his potential. That is something I can do far better than you. I was a student of the fourth Hokage," said Kakashi. As Uncle scoffed at that, So that makes you qualify? Get it through your damn brain, Kakashi. You lost. Hokage-sama chose me because I don't view him as an asset. I view him as a fellow human, a shinobi. And while I do not know as many jutsus as you do, I can still teach him ninjutsu that will be useful to him, as well as teach him how to be a skilled assassin, an infiltration expert. And lastly, where the hell do you get off saying that he needs to be reined in? He's a lot more better than the pale boy you have on your team. Now get out of my way. As she pushed past him. This is not over, he said, as he flashed away in a Shanshin. Uncle just growled. Kakashi had been rather upset the previous morning when Hiruzen had assigned him to his team. He had asked Sarutobi to reconsider, but the Hokage was firm as he would not change his mind. And there wasn't anything Kakashi could do about it. She shook her head, driving the arrogant shinobi from her thoughts. Time skip, training ground 44. As Naruto and his two girls arrived, as he waited for their sensei. Good morning, my darling trio of blondes, said Uncle, as she appeared in a swirl of leaf. Good morning, Uncle Sensei, they all said. Well, now that you're all here, she said, clapping her hand, let's get started with our tests. And what would our test be, Uncle Sensei, said Naruto. Well, it's simple. Your test is to survive in the forest of death for 2 hours. What? Said a shocked Naruto, with both Ciel and Eve looked on in disbelief. But Uncle Sensei, there are wild beasts out in that place. Monsters as well, said Naruto. I know that. All you have to do is survive out there for 2 hours. Now go on. The clock is ticking, she said. As the group turned towards the forest, she originally wanted them to survive in it for the entire day. But that would be another time, this was a test, and she had to report back into the Hokage. She had faith that her team would go in and come back out alive. Yeah, she had faith. Time skip, in the forest. As the three blondes wandered around, as they heard sounds everywhere, as Naruto was walking in front of them, as he looked around, making sure to not run into anything too deadly or dangerous. Stay close to me, said Naruto, as they were really quiet not to alert anything. So far so well. As they were about to pass some bushes, when the bushes over to the side shifted, and a massive bear came out. As Naruto looked on in shock, this bear. He remembered all those years ago, this was a bear that tried to chase him. The one that tried to rip him apart. It seemed to have grown a lot bigger. The thing roared as it charged towards them and they leaped away. Ciel pulled a kunai and threw it. It stabbed into the bear's shoulder. It roared angrily, as that just seemed to piss it off even more. As the bear moving on Ciel to rip her apart, as she pulled another kunai as her back hit the tree. She didn't realize how close she was to it. Eve threw several shurikens embedded into the bear's side. The bear turned as he focused on her and growled annoyed. As Naruto clapped his hand as the bear looked down towards him as he threw a kunai, it pierced right into the bear's eye. The thing roared out in pain. I'm over here, said Naruto. The bear smashed its hand in the ground, rooting up a large chunk of earth and debris. It literally threw it at Naruto in a wild attempt to stop him from running away, as Naruto was hit with several tree trunks. As that gave the bear enough time to move, Naruto, both girls cried out, as the bear came down with his claw to rip Naruto to pieces. In an act of desperation, Naruto held out his hand. As his hand turned crimson, black tentacles sprouted from his arm as claws came from them. As the claws shot forward and ripped into the bear, it did not stop, it tear right through the bear, like it was nothing. The thing tried to collapse on him, but Naruto found a strength that he never knew that he had, and threw the massive bear as it crashed through several trees, dead. As Naruto looked at his strange claw arm that was still there, as Eve and Ciel looked at his arm that started to return back to normal, his fingers reforming, as Naruto couldn't comprehend what the hell just happened, as he kept on looking at his arm. Are you alright? Asked Eve. Yeah, said Naruto, as he just kept on looking at his arm. 2 hours later, Uncle really hoped they didn't get lost. The 2 hours were up, as she was waiting for them to emerge. This was a survival test, she wasn't supposed to get them. They were supposed to emerge at any moment now. She smiled as she saw the three of them walking out, as she jumped down towards them. Well, how did you do, she said. Did any beasts or monsters try to attack you? As she checked them over to see if they have any injury, but there was none. Well, a giant bear tried to attack us, we fought together, but Naruto killed it, said Ciel. Judging from the size of those bears in the forest of death, I'm impressed, Uncle said. You got your first kill. Well, it wasn't human, but it was something. Uncle did not know about what happened to Mizuki, as Hiruzen never told her. I threw a kunai in his eyes, said Naruto, as he never tell her the full truth. He did hit it with a kunai, But that was only half the truth. She looked towards the girls, no interest, and they fought one of those giant bears. A smile came to her face. "Well then you three have done it," she said. "You are now official Jennings. From now on, starting every day will be team survival tests in the forest of death. And you three will have teamwork exercise. And I will train you at night for you to become a natural, born strike team," she said with a wide grin. As Naruto the question, "Hey Uncle Sensei, we have summoning contracts. Do you know how we opened and signed it?" said Naruto. "Summoning contracts, huh?" As a small frown on her face came, as that question brought up memories of the past. "Sign the contract with your blood. Once you do, you may be dragged into the summoning realm to talk to the boss of the summons. And you have to make him agree to let you become their summoner." "Thanks, Uncle Sensei," said Naruto with a smile. "You're welcome, Brett. Now, let's go celebrate Team Uncle," she said. "We're gonna make one badass team." And with that, the group moved off. As Uncle was determined to make them into a kick-ass team, and by the time the tuning exams comes up, they were gonna dominate every single team around. She sure as hell was not gonna let someone like Kakashi sabotage her team or try to get Naruto on his team. Screw that Cyclops. Time skip. Hokage's office. Team 7 pass, said Kakashi with disinterest. As he looked towards Uncle with a slight glare, he was still not pleased. Team 8 has passed, said Kurna as she was pleased. She got the team that she wants. Team 10 has passed, said Asuma. Team 11 has passed as well, said Uncle. What test did you do, Uncle? Kakashi asked. Well, if you must know, I put them in the forest of death. A survival test for 2 hours and they came out unharmed. Uncle, have you lost your mind? The forest is dangerous. They could have gotten killed, said Kurnai. I had faith that they would pass, and they did. Why couldn't you give them a simple bell test? That would have improved their teamwork skills, said Kakashi. She scoffed, as she looked at him with annoyance. Because I want to see how they fare in the forest against wild beasts and monsters. Besides, the bell test is overdone all the times, and I want to try something different. There's nothing wrong with doing that, she said, defending her reasoning. Well, I think you were irresponsible in sending fresh academy students in the forest of death. I wonder, did you go in there to make sure nothing bad happened to them, said Kakashi, as he made his statement. Oh please, you want to talk. I bet you want to fail our current team because you didn't get the team that you wanted, she said as she glared at him. He simply snarled at her. He wanted Naruto and his team. The rivalry between Sasuke and him would be the same as the one between Obito and him back then, and it would push the both of them to become as strong as he possibly can. But he couldn't fail the Uchiha team. The council will non-stop complain about him failing the last Uchiha as well. He felt like Uncle did not deserve Naruto. He was supposed to form bonds with Sasuke and Sakura, not those two blonde twin girls, whoever they were. Alright, enough here's been said. I'm very impressed how the teams had passed. I wish you all the luck in training them. This meeting is dismissed. As everyone nodded, as Uncle made her way off. As she didn't even pay attention to Kakashi, who simply made his way off as well. Time skip. A month later, Team 7 has been doing nothing but D-ranks. It was annoying. The worst mission was catching Tora. The group had wanted to rip the cat apart. It was annoying. But they had to bring it back. It was a daimyo's wife cat. But other than that, they had been doing non-stop teamwork exercises in the forest of death. As Uncle was tired of these D-rank missions, they were a waste of her team's time. Not to mention Naruto and his girls got to sign their contract. It wasn't easy, but they got the balls to accept. Naruto is a summoner of the rampaging summoning contract, as he was brought to a ruined city, where he met the 3 bosses. The first boss summon was Georgie. It was an albino gorilla. You could say that he was the size of King Kong. The second was a giant feral wolf named Ralph, with porcupine, quilt, and giant squirrel wings. The third was a giant crocodile that was much bigger than George. Her name was Lizzie. These 3 powerful rampaging beasts shared the contract together. The lesser summons weren't revealed yet. Only a giant rat that was twice the size of an Inuzaka dog. His name was Larry. The beasts accepted Naruto as their summoner, and they couldn't wait to help assist the boy. As for the xenomorph contract that Sil and Eve signed, at first the two was frightened by the Xenos, but they came to not fear them as they encountered their queen. The queen could tell right away that these 2 girls was not actually human. The queen accepted the 2 girls as their summon, and not to mention the entire hive as well. At the moment though, Team Uncle was called to the office. You called for us, Hokage-sama, said Uncle. Yes. I received word from Team 7 at the Land of Waves. It turns out that Tazuna had lied about the mission parameters. He encountered the Demon Brothers of the Mist and Zabuza Mamakai. And you want us to go help them, Uncle said, as here's a nod. Are you ready, team? First to engage in our first high-class mission and complete it. We've been ready for a long time, Sensei, said Cell. As both Naruto and Eve nodded along. Alright. Let's get moving, Uncle said. Time skip. At the gate, Naruto stopped the group before they could depart. What is it? Well, I have a better idea that could get us there faster since we don't know when Zabuza will attack once again. You guys stay here. As Naruto walked off a distance away, he bit his thumb and went through hand sign. Summoning Jutsu! Poof! A massive cloud obscured the entire area. When it cleared, Uncle, Eve and Cell were shocked as a giant wolf stood there with a porcupine quills on his back and tail. You have summoned me, Naruto, asked Ralph, looking down at the boy in his team. Ralph, can you follow this thing? Said Naruto as he wagged the perverted orange book in front of the wolf's nose and find the person. The wolf took one big sniff. I have located the person. Get on, he says. He lowered his head as the team climbed up on his head. Izumo and Katetsu were just watching the entire scene. Hey, Katetsu. Huh? What is it? Was that real? Yeah. Remind me not to piss that boy off, okay? Time skip. Land of Wave. Team 7 was there as Kakashi was recovering from his fight with Zabuza. As the three of them were waiting for their sensei to recover, as they needed help in their time of need, a loud howl alerted everyone inside the house, even Kakashi. Everyone trembled in fear, as that did not sound normal at all. What the hell is that? Said Sakura. As she was trembling, as Sasuke pulled his kunai looking around. On the other hand, Sai seemed blank. He showed no emotion. Kakashi struggled to get up. As he moved, who is it? Said Tetsuna. I don't know, said Kakashi. As he pulled the kunai. Open the door, Kakashi. We know that you're in there. As Kakashi dropped his guard at that voice. Open up! As he looked towards Sakura and gave her a nudge, she opened the door. Team Uncle is here to kick some ass and take some names, she said, as she threw an Uncle stick. Who are they? Said Tazuna. They're Team 11, known as Team Uncle, said Kakashi, as he frowned a bit. Why couldn't the Hokage send Team 8, 9 or 10? No, he had to send Team Uncle for this. How did you all get here so fast? It's only been 2 hours. Even at full speed it will take me a few hours to get to the Land of Wave, said Kakashi. It's simple. Naruto summoned got us here. We were riding on top of a giant wolf. The Howl. So that was a wolf summon. And it belonged to Naruto? Naruto is not ready for a summoning creature just yet, said Kakashi. Don't tell me what he's ready and not ready for. As his sensei, he has my permission to summon what he wants. Why does a dope have a summoning contract? Said Sasuke as he was annoyed by that. Because I earned it, said Naruto, as he glared at Sasuke. Hey Naruto, you idiot. Tell Sasuke where you get that summoning contract now, said Sakura. As Naruto looked towards her and snorted, Sakura blinked. Was he ignoring her? She stepped forward as she raised her fist. Sil stepped forward and grabbed her hand. Don't you touch him, she said, as she gripped her wrist tightly. Sakura started to cry out in pain. Release her, said Kakashi. Uncle stepped in his way. Don't you dare defend her. She was about to hit my student because he refused to listen to her. I suggest you control your genuine with better self-control, or I'll do it myself. Still released Sakura and pushed her back. And it's none of your concern why Naruto has a summoning contract. Now come my team, she said. As Uncle walked off with her team, Sasuke's eyes were focused on Cell. The way she stepped in, as she was powerful. He remembered her from the academy. She was strong. She could be good for him to restart his clan. Yes, soon he will get her on his side and away from dope. Not to mention he also want that wolf as well. He want that summoning contract. He was a Uchiha, he deserved it. Meanwhile, the boy that everyone seemed to not pay attention to was so silent. Interesting. This would be some good information for Danzo-sama, thought Sai. A day later, as Uncle was training her team, as she learned about their elemental affinities, Naruto had 3, fire, wind, and water. The girls, both of them had 4. Still, possessed fire, earth, lightning, and wind, and Eve possessed lightning, water, earth, and fire. She already finished with the tree walking exercise weeks ago, and she had them working on something completely different. So far, Zabuza hadn't attacked them yet. Kakashi and his team looked on in envy. Team 11 was so balanced, and they worked well together. They did not squabble like Team 7. Kakashi believed with his mindset that Naruto was the person that was supposed to be on his team, because his mindset was focused on the past, Obito, and him, as Naruto needed to be Sasuke's rival, just like in the past and Sakura was Ren. It was the old version of Team 7 he was trying to create, but with Sai on the team. It didn't work at all. And not to mention those girls. Who are they? Where did they come from? They just appeared one day and they were now attached to Naruto. None of it made sense to him. He knew about Naruto and Sasuke rivalry in the academy. It reminded him so much of Obito and himself. And those twins, they were just strange. He was going to keep his eye on the both of them, as they just popped up one day. And they were now living with Naruto. No explanation, just popped up. Sasuke was thinking about his future. First he was going to kill his brother. Then he was going to take Cell. She was strong, and she would help him rebuild his clan. He really liked strong women, not these pathetic excuses of Kunoichi, as he looked towards Sakura. As Sakura followed Sasuke's gaze, as she realized where he was looking at Cell. He was looking at that blonde bitch that was hanging over that idiot Naruto. She didn't know why. She clenched her fist tight. Why can't Sasuke come look at me like that? What the hell does Cell have that I don't? Well, I know one thing for sure. We can't let that blonde bitch steal where Sasuke can. We're on his team. We're gonna be his girlfriend, said in her Sakura. Yeah, said Sakura. Sai was just Sai, as he just watched the Kyuubi Jinchuriki and his 2 teammates. Alright team, it's time for lunch, as they had packed food. Later on in the evening it was dinner time, but their meal was interrupted. Why the hell do you all try so hard? You're just all gonna die anyway. Gato is too strong. The voice of Inari yelled at all of them in anger, as Naruto frowned at the boy. Be quiet, he said. You don't know the meaning of the words that come out of your mouth. What? I don't know. You think we all haven't had a hard life, Inari yelled. I've watched villagers getting beaten and killed because they stood in people's way. These thugs that belong to Gato, just to show how powerful he is. I watch people that steal to survive. Many people waste away in the street because they're too hungry to survive. And you're telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about? As Naruto's fist clenched tight, you might have had a few hard days, but you don't know what a hard life is, Naruto. You have a family. You have people here for you. You have a roof over your head, a place to sleep. You have seen people be beaten or killed, sure, but you don't look like you've been beaten a day in your life, said Naruto, as he held onto the glass in his hand. Have you ever come close to dying? Have you ever wandered through the street, going through trash to find your next meal? Have you ever slept in the alleyway in the rain, the pouring, cold, wet rain, because there was nowhere else? The villagers that you see, do they glare at you like you're the vein of their existence, like you're the problem for all of their misery, and that they will rejoice if you simply drop dead? Have you ever been nearly killed by the villagers or shinobi, poisoned, starved to death, beaten in an inch of your life? Have you? As Inari couldn't say anything at that. Thought so, said Naruto. So your meaning of hard life is nothing. That is why I said, be quiet. As Inari teared up, as he ran up to his room. After he left, it was Naruto time to leave to clear his head. As Silla and Eve were angry at the villagers, the things that their Narutos went through. They wanted to hurt them. Anko lowered her head as she thought about her own miserable past. Naruto was the holder of the Kyuubi, and he was shunned for that. She was a student of a traitor, and she was also shunned for that as well. Where does he get off talking like that and being so rough? He doesn't even know half what he's talking about. I've never seen him with a hint of sadness during the academy. Dope, just think too highly of himself, Sasuke said. After all, he lost his family. But despite that, he was pampered. Since he lost the Uchihas, he had everything handed to him. But Naruto suffered. But he didn't know that. Yeah, said Sakura, he's just making it up, trying to get attention. Shut your mouth! As Anko turned towards him with a glare, None of you know what his actual life is about, so shut your goddamn mouth, Uncle said. As Sakura was silent, Sasuke looked towards the two twins, and the look that they were giving Sakura and him, it wasn't a look that he'd ever seen before. He wasn't afraid. No, he was not. He was an Uchiha. Why would he be afraid of a look? But the way they were looking at them, it was just weird. As for Naruto, as he walked to clear his mind, as he thought about everything in his past, he was nearly beaten to death several times. Something that he didn't have control over. He was put through hell again and again, as he sighed in annoyance. As these memories resurfacing, he was almost killed every single day on his birthday, as those days would be the worst. But things changed. He had people like Sil, Eve, Hinata, and also Uncle Sensei at his side. Things were different now. And he liked Sil and Eve, and Hinata as well. As he sat down under a tree, as he just sat there, he ended up falling asleep. As Naruto once again dreamed. This time he saw a black-haired girl, roughly 5'3" appear, as she was close to his age, maybe a year or two older, a natural, hourglass figure with an athletic build. She had on clothing that hugged her body like a second skin. Her hair was black and glossy, a sign of being well kept. Her skin was beyond flawless, it was majestic. He watched as he mated with the girl, like what he did with the two others, as he turned her into what he was. He watched as she produced ice, beautiful ice all around him, as Naruto stirred in his sleep, as he was in one of those other dreams that he was having, as he kept on stirring and moving around. As he turned, other people, he couldn't see their faces though other girls. He mated with them and started a clan. He was mating and starting a clan for himself. He saw two other girls with him. Meanwhile, in his mindscape, there was a massive gate. The conjurer seal on it. Behind that gate was a fox. A giant fox. The fox opened his eyes in amusement, as he could feel the dream that his host was having. That brat will become something that will mate with every potential female and girl that he sees in sight. Soon enough, there will be an army of them, the fox said. The fox's voice sounded rather feminine in the darkness, as it watched, seeing a glimpse of the boy's dreams. The next morning, as a black-haired girl with a basket saw the boy, as he was fast asleep, he looked rather cute with his tiny whisker marks. As Naruto stirred, as she realized that he was waking up, as she backed away a bit, as he focused on her. Naruto wondered if he was still dreaming, as it was her. It was her. You shouldn't be sleeping like that out here, she said. You will catch a cold. Her voice was so sweet and nice. What's your name? Said Naruto. Oh, my name is Haku, she said. You look so beautifully, says he got to his feet. Why, thank you. What's your name? Haku asked, as she blushed a bit. Naruto Uzumaki, he said. As he stepped towards her, unknowingly, pheromones started to flare from within him, as he heard a voice in his head, telling him to infect her. On the other hand, Haku was confused. Her body felt hot. What was going on? As he got close to her, she couldn't understand what was happening to her. Why was she burning up all of a sudden? As she looked towards his face, more importantly his lips, his soft, kissable lips. What was she thinking? And yet she couldn't look away. Claim her. Infect her. The mind in Naruto's voice told him over and over again, claim her now! Naruto had shot forward and pulled her close. As Haku's face was beet red, as she couldn't understand why she couldn't push him away. Naruto-kun, she said. Her vision getting a bit hazy. Haku, he says, he moved closer, until the two of their lips touched together. As Naruto's eyes became crimson, his hand changing into claws as it wrapped around her tight. Their tongues battled, clashed against one another until Naruto's tongue extended extremely long, as he injects something within her, as Naruto was partially transformed into something as yet canine for teeth. As he bit her, marking her as his potential future mate. She flinched as she let out a soft moan, feeling the teeth sink into her skin. Her pupil dilated as she felt the species virus infected her molecules and her DNA. It was changing her very system. Her mind was bombarded with visions of her mating with Naruto and aiding him. Her loyalty was being severed completely to Zabuza as it was being transferred over towards Naruto. As she passed out in his arms, Naruto placed her down towards the ground as he didn't look like he was even conscious. His eyes looked dilated as he sniffed her, as he smelled the scent of Gato and Zabuza. In order to make her stay with him, he would eliminate them. Meanwhile, it was still so early, really early, as Eve was still busy asleep. Sil was not. It was barely light out. As Sil was worried, where was Naruto? He should be back by now. As she shook her sister awake, Eve opened her eyes. What's wrong, sister? Naruto hasn't come back yet. We need to go find him. Should we inform Uncle Sensei? Asked Eve. As she got out of bed right away. It is best not. You stay here, I'll go find him. No. I'm coming with you, said Eve. If Uncle Sensei does know that we snuck out, we can tell our reason was to find Naruto-kun. Okay then, let's go. Meanwhile, with Naruto, the demon brothers have escaped as they were back with Zabuza. As Naruto stood there, they were in a cavern. As Naruto silently crawled on the roof. As he crawled down and found a hatch opened as he went inside. The demon brothers were still a bit injured from their fight with Team 7, but nothing too bad. As Naruto's arms changed into the black tentacles with claws on them, they lashed out and ripped through their eye sockets and tear into their chests as they died in their sleep. As Naruto's claws were dripping blood, as he was making his way towards the room where Zabuza was, so that Haku would be with him. He did not understand why he was doing this. Something was driving him, something that was inside of him. Haku was his, and no one was gonna stand in his way. He saw Zabuza unconscious and patched up from his fight with Kakashi. As Naruto raised his hand, Zabuza's instinct kicked in as he woke up. Haku, he said, but Naruto dried his claws right through his heart. As Zabuza coughed up blood, unable to do anything because of his weakened state. As something happened, red mist scattered everywhere as Naruto absorbed Zabuza inside of him. He clutched his head as he gained all of Zabuza's skills, jutsus, and memories. He picked himself up and walked towards the giant cleaving blade as he sealed it away. The moment he stepped outside the cavern, he released a fire jutsu and burned it to cinders. He then turned his gaze and started to march off. As he was going for Gato, a few minutes later, Sil and Eve looked towards the remains of the burning cavern. As Naruto was here, they could smell him. As they went after his scent, back with Naruto, guards and thugs were all around, keeping the place secured. As Naruto waved through hand signs effortlessly, hidden mist technique. As the mist spread around the area, he summoned a few clones as they all transformed their arms into claws. And a massacre happened, screaming, the sound of flesh ripping. Sil and Eve finally caught up. They heard all this screaming and yelling. They knew their alpha was doing this. As they joined into the mist, when the mist started to clear away, Naruto was covered in blood. As his claws were drenching, dead samurais, thugs all around, mutilated corpses. One thug picked up a claw as he tried to hit Naruto from behind, but a long spiny tongue ripped through his skull. Naruto turned his head and saw that it was coming from Sil, with Eve standing beside her. Sil-chan, Eve-chan, what are you doing here? He said. We were just about to ask you the same thing, said Sil. As Naruto told them what happened, the girls were a bit upset at having this girl. Hinata was okay, but this girl that they barely knew. But if she was gonna join with them, she was gonna be a beta of the clan. And they will have to. Haku will have to listen to them. But for right now, they will wait until later so they can talk about it. They had a job to do. They had to kill the rest of Gato's men that were inside protecting Gato. When the sun finally rose, Anko woke up as she stretched. as it was time to get to business. As she made her way after a little while. Get your asses up, it's time to... But she paused. When she saw that there was no one inside, she looked towards the window that was cracked open as she narrowed her eyes. Did her team just snuck off? Before she could summon a snake to chase them down and find where they were, she heard cheering from outside. Team 7 and Tazuna and her came in the hallway as they looked at each other confused. What's going on? Tazuna shrugged as they made their way outside. The cheering was coming from town square. A lot of people, almost the entire village of Wave was standing there. A large cart with money and other wealth that Gato had was in the town square. What's going on here? Said Tazuna. Tazuna sensed a miracle. These 3 kids defeated Gato, and they're giving us all the money they stole from him. We're finally saved. Gato is no more. Team 7 and the family was shocked, as Iniri couldn't believe it. As Team 7 watched as the 3 blondes were tossed in the air, along with Haku, who was with them. As Kakashi couldn't believe what he was seeing, Ango made her way over. She had to know just what in the hell was going on. But guys, if you end up right here, if you want to see the next part, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also, guys, go ahead and check out a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Perfect Experiment, and enjoy that over on Anime King 3. And also, I post a brand new episode over on Anime King 2 of What If Naruto Was a King of Necromancers. So go ahead and enjoy that as well, guys. And if you're new to this channel, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what you find every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button, become a part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.